What if the secret to staying sharp and energized on a week-long hike was as simple as packing food you love served up at just the right times? After 8 days and a final day of nearly 40 kilometers in tough terrain, this one tweak changed everything for me. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to match snacks to your day, keep your energy even, and make every meal something to look forward to. All right. Let's start with this whole idea of energy pacing matters in the first place. Why energy pacing matters. Now, when I first started doing big trips, I made the same mistake a lot of people do. I overpacked food thinking it was security. But it's not security when your bag feels like a sack of bricks and you're bonking halfway through the day. That moment when your legs stop listening and your brain turns foggy. Back then, I didn't think about timing. I'd eat when I remembered to or when I was already starving, and it showed. I'd drag into camp absolutely spent, short-tempered, low on energy, sometimes even nauseous. Then things started to change. I remember one long cold day. I'd been running on fumes for hours when I stopped, had some soup and a warm meal, and everything lifted. My focus came back, my mood stabilized, even the landscape looked different. And that's when I realized how and when I eat is just as important as what I eat. After that trip, I stopped treating food like a safety blanket and started treating it like fuel for the journey. I began keeping snacks in easy reach, usually in my pack's hip belt pocket, preloaded each morning so a quick bite was always at hand. More on that shortly. I'd also mix electrolytes at breakfast for long hot days so they were ready to sip alongside water. And if you want to plan your own setup the way I do, I've built 2 free tools to make it effortless. The multi-day meal planner and the Mauser calorie calculator. They'll show you exactly how much food and energy you need for your next trip. There's a link below to grab both for free. Now, these small changes made a massive difference. It's a bit like keeping my pot plants alive at home. You know, pot plants are like a nice plant like that. Like pot plants, not pot plants. Anyway, it's a bit like keeping your pot plants alive at home. If I wait until they're wilted to water them, it's already too late. Regular top-ups keep them thriving, and it's exactly the same when you're out in the track. Now, instead of hauling just-in-case food, I plan around the terrain itself. If I know there's a big climb, I'll pack some climb fuel, some quick carbs and electrolytes ready to go. Rolling terrain, well, that's where steady fuel comes in. And at camp, I always make sure I've got something satisfying and high density to properly recover. Because when your food works with your pace, not against it, it stops being dead weight. It becomes your engine, or the fuel for your engine. You're the engine, and that becomes the fuel for your engine, if you know what I mean. The 3 fuel buckets. So after learning how much timing mattered, I started organising all my sort of food for on the track into 3 simple fuel buckets. It's just a way to match what I eat to what the terrain's doing. The right food at the right time so my energy stays steady all day. Bucket 1 is climb fuel, and that is quick carbs and electrolytes. Now this is for steep, high effort sections, the climbs, the hot exposed ridges, the tough hauls. I go for fast burn carbs like some snack bars or trail mix with dried fruit and chocolate. Those give me quick energy by topping up my glycogen, which is the fuel stored in your muscles. Now, research shows that eating small amounts of carbs every 60 to 90 minutes helps prevent that midday bonk, when your legs stop responding and your head gets foggy, and it's something I have used in my long runs when I'm trail running as well. At the same time, I'll sip electrolytes, about half a litre per hour maybe, more if it's hot. Now, I use Element sachets a bit because they're simple, they're sugar-free, and they come in little sachets, but the key is steady hydration with some salt, not just water. Another one I use occasionally is one called Tailwind, which you can buy in bulk, and you just keep it in a little bag that you take on the track and you fill up your bottle with that. Bucket 2, steady fuel. This is slow burn carbs and fats and protein. Now, when the track evens out, I shift to slower burn foods. Nuts, beef jerky, cheese, or peanut butter wraps. I also am a big fan of peanut butter and avocado rolls, and I learnt that from one of my favourite books, Finding Ultra by Rich Roll. But I digress. It's actually just there. Where is it? It's right there, actually. It's a great book. Peanut butter, avocado rolls. That's where I got that from. These combine carbs, fats, and protein for longer, steadier energy and a feeling of fullness. A rough guide for multi-day hiking is about half your calories from carbs, a third from fats, and the rest from protein. Now, I treat this bucket like mini lunches throughout the day. A quick handful there, a bite there, enough to keep things ticking without stopping for big meals. Bucket 3 is recovery fuel, protein and comfort. Now, once I hit camp, I drop into recovery gear. Within an hour, I want a mix of protein and carbs to rebuild tired muscles, usually something like a Radix meal or freeze-dried or dehydrated dinner. That first 30 to 60 minutes after hiking is what researchers call the anabolic window, the sweet spot when your body soaks up nutrients fastest. This is the morale bucket. A hot drink or a comforting meal signals to your body you made it. Time to rest and reset. Putting it all together. These three buckets create a rhythm you can rely on. Quick fuel for climbs, steady fuel for cruising, recovery fuel for rebuilding. It's not complicated, it's smart pacing. You're matching your food to the terrain and to your effort. Now, once you find that rhythm, you'll stop worrying about energy crashes altogether. Your body just hums along hour after hour, no matter how many days you're out there. Meal timing and daily flow. And maybe you've wondered when you should actually eat when you're out on the track. Here's how I keep my energy steady through long days and avoid those midday crashes that used to knock me around. Let's take a Western Arthur Range trip I did as an example. In the morning, I start with a quick breakfast. That's quick, filling, and something I enjoy. Now, I do like the Radix breakfasts that we get here in Australia. They're easy to prepare, they save time, but I'll often make my own mix of oats with freeze-dried fruit and nuts as well, and some powdered milk. And that combo gives me a solid base to start the day without feeling heavy. On the move, once I'm on the track, I settle into a rhythm. Every hour or so, I'll have a small top-up of climb or cruise fuel. It might be half a snack bar, a handful of trail mix, or a bite of something quick from my hip belt pocket. It's not about eating a lot, it's just a small regular top up to keep the tank from ever running completely dry. For lunch, well, lunch I keep simple. Usually some wraps with some jerky, tuna, or a bit of freeze-dried peanut butter or homemade dip that I reconstitute. And in all honesty, I have been known to throw in a packet of Spam every now and then as well. Not on every trip, but it's a bit of a salty treat when you've earned it, so don't judge me there. I'll also include a bit of cheese to throw into the mix in each lunchtime as well. Bit of a hard cheese that I can carry for days on end. And if it's cold or wet, I might make a hot drink or some noodles. But most of the time it's grab and go so I can keep moving. Our lunches generally aren't much longer than 15 to 20 minutes on a long day. In the afternoon, well, the same steady rhythm continues. More trail mix, maybe a bar, and steady sips of water or my electrolytes. That combination of small snacks and light hydration keeps me balanced, not over full, not flat, just smooth, consistent energy through the whole afternoon. When I get to camp, well, as soon as I reach camp, I'll go straight for something salty. A miso soup or an instant soup sachet I just love as soon as I get to camp. Before I even set up my tent, or while my buddy sets up my tent for me, one of us will get hot drinks, the other will set up the tent. Then it's time for that recovery meal. Hot, dense, and full of flavour. That's often a Radix meal or a freeze-dried or dehydrated dinner. And honestly, that moment, sitting there with a hot meal after a long day, is what I think about when the weather turns bad or the climb feels endless. Knowing there's a meal waiting makes all the difference mentally. Having something to look forward to, which is why I really pay attention to my nighttime meals and what I'm choosing to take on a trip. No bad meals, all good meals. So try building your own version of this rhythm. Short, regular fuel stops through the day, then recovery and reward at camp. Once you get that flow right, your energy won't yo-yo anymore. It'll be steady day after day, no matter how big the terrain gets. Pack flow and organization. Now, the real trick to making all of this work is accessibility, because if your snacks are buried deep down in your pack, you won't eat them. Not when it's raining or when you're tired or when your hands are cold halfway up a climb. Each morning, I pull out one day's worth of snacks, trail mix and bars, and they go straight into my hip belt pockets or side pouch. That way, I don't have to think about it later. I can just grab a handful and keep moving as I'm walking. My climb fuel is pre-bagged and easy to reach for those tougher sections. Main meals live right down the bottom, inside my waterproof pack liner, compact and protected. Then, up the top of my pack in a small snap-lock bag, or it's bigger snap-lock bag, with my quick access gear like my gloves and my rain jacket, I keep my lunch, a few backup snacks, and usually a soup or hot drink sachet that I can make up quickly if I need to. Because on those cold, miserable days, that tiny morale boost, just knowing I've got a hot drink ready, can change the whole mood of the day. It's a bit like setting up your camp kitchen at home. When everything has a place and you can reach what you need, you don't waste time or energy rummaging around. You just get on with it. And when your pack's organised like this, the day flows better. You hike, you snack, you recover. No stress, no digging, no mental clutter. So try laying out your pack this way before your next trip and on day to day as you're going on a multi-day trip. It's a small change, but it makes a big difference in how smooth and enjoyable your day feels. Safety and hygiene. So All of this falls apart if you get sick when you're out in the wilderness. Now, I've been hiking for over 30 years and I've never had a stomach issue, and that's not luck, it's hygiene. Before every meal, I use a small squirt of sanitizer on my hands and rub them. Perishables are gone after day 1, maybe day 2 on a colder trip. Everything after that is shelf stable. At home, I always repackage meals to cut down on bulk, but I make sure every bag and container is clean and completely dry before sealing. And if there's ever any doubt about the water, even here in Tasmania, which has got some of the freshest water in the world, I filter it. Every single time, if there's any doubt, it gets filtered or treated. I think of these habits like a seatbelt. You hardly notice them when things are fine, but when it matters, they can save your whole trip. It's a tiny bit of effort that keeps your system running smooth and your adventure on track. So make sure you build your own hygiene routine before your next trip, because you'll thank yourself later. The mental game. So I had a long 38-kilometre walk out from the Western Arthur Range that taught me something big. Food pacing isn't just about keeping your body moving, it's about keeping your head in the game. Every small snack on that long day became a checkpoint, something to look forward to. That steady rhythm of fuel kept my mood level and my focus clear, even after 8 tough days on the track. Since then, that same rhythm has carried me through every big trip. So next time you're out there and you feel yourself fading, try setting little snack checkpoints. It gives you something tangible to aim for, one small reward at a time, and it does wonders for your headspace. And if you want to build your own system like this, plan your daily calories, track your pack weight, and dial in your pacing, grab my free multi-day meal planner and Mauser calorie calculator bundle. You'll find the link in the description down below. It's the exact setup I use to plan every trip. And if you want to see how I stay dry and fueled in the worst weather, then check out this video up here next for my full rain hiking system.